Okay. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Julie. I'm a registered acupuncturist in Vancouver, and really my goal is helping people age powerfully. So today we are 1 month before I turn 44. So I thought I would do a preventative frown and forehead line protocol that I can share with everyone out there. I've worked in some fancy spas before, and everyone's always like, I know Julie does facial acupuncture, but I still think she gets Botox. No. So the idea is we want to help balance the muscles, not freeze some, while then the other ones become lax and sagging. So for myself, I've always had forehead lines here, and you can see them move, right? But it's all about how to balance them to prevent them from staying on the skin level. So the muscles move, and that's what we want.
Yeah.
But we don't necessarily want to see it etched into the skin like a scar.
Yeah, we want to still be able to see our expressions, but just not have permanent.
Yeah, exactly.
lines.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
So I also want to welcome Sarah back. You may remember her from our facial exercise video.
Yes.
So what we're going to do is first start with a little demo. And I'm going to be using Sarah as a model just to show you, some of the basics zoomed in of what we're going to do. And then we're going to do it all together so we can chat, have fun, and, then at home you can follow along whenever you do this protocol until you get used to it and memorize it. All right, so what we're going to do first is when it comes to the tension in the face, we have one command point on the large intestine channel called Hugu, or large intestine 4. So this channel runs from the finger, the index finger, all the way along, all the way up, crosses over, and finishes on the other side of the nose. So this point helps as the command point to relax the face, relax the jaw, relax facial tension and forehead tension. So we're going to start just by massaging this area, taking a few deep breaths. Of course, for me, I always use my hands every day at work. So many people are typing all day long, and this muscle, it's a little tight.
Yeah. Mine too.
So I would just encourage you throughout your day to massage this point. It's also going to help with clear skin, balancing the digestive system, anger, irritability, PMS. So you're going to be massaging this, hopefully not till it's bruised, but enough so it's relaxed. So first we're going to go through the supplies that we will need today. So for the Gua Sha, you can use one of these beautiful jade ones. This is my favorite. It has the 3 little divots here, a longer side, and then a tip. But Sarah also has our little wand. So there's a small little ball there and a larger ball there. Yes. So they both work great. You could use your knuckle. You could use a spoon, or you can't really hear that, but these are Cryo Gua Sha. So I keep these in the freezer, and ladies, if you're perimenopausal, you'll want to bring these with you in your fan, your neck fan, and they'll get you through the day. But they are really, really good for cooling and calming after the day when your face is a little bit warm. These ones you keep in the fridge or freezer, and they are there when you need them. So we're going to have that apparatus, and then we're going to have facial cups. So there's different options. I like to use the ones that are a little bit longer, so there's more surface area for you to grab. And of course, depending on the size of the area, the shape of your face, this is more of a large one, and then the smaller one. So we're going to be utilizing the smaller one a bit more today because of the areas we're working with, but our next video is going to be addressing jaw versus sagging cheeks and neck. So stay tuned for that one. I also have some little shorter silicone cups, and we're going to get into, on myself, a little bit around the neck and the shoulders because that relates to the tension up here as well. So Sarah, you also have some different facial cups. So you'll see her using just a little bit of a different shape than me. Easily bought on Amazon. I'll link that below in the description. Okay, so now we're going to go over the anatomy of the corrugator and frontalis muscles, so the frown and forehead areas. So we're going to use Sarah as the model today. And what we're looking at is, again, the frown area here and then forehead. So what happens is that as the muscle continues to contract over time, as you can see using this area, then the lines start to form into the actual area for the frown. So we can either see 1 line, 2 lines, 3 lines, 5 lines. And so the idea is these lines come up because the fascia gets tense, almost like a scar. So the method we're using today is going to help break that up. So I'm going to show you first, and then we'll all do it together. And so for Sarah here, when we are utilizing our supplies, we have our Gua Sha, and then we have our different size facial cups. So we're just going to add a little bit of facial cleansing oil for Sarah. And we want to get underneath, a little bit under the eyebrow, as we'll be working there. And so keep in mind that if you have a tight neck or a tight scalp, this is going to play with these lines here. So when we're doing this together, we'll also work to release those. We'll be looking at a facial exercise that we can utilize for both the frontalis and the corrugator muscles. But what we're going to start with is just our Gua Sha, and we're going to be using the tip of it. So again, you can use many other instruments, but we want to start breaking this up. So we're going to come in around where the muscle innervates the brain. So when we're frustrated or focused, this is going to get tight, and you can see it starting to get a little bit red, but we're just going all around, and we're working one way and the other as we go. So we're going to do this again together, coming into the inner side of the eyebrow all the way across, balancing the origin and insertion of the muscle, getting all that area, coming in to the middle. We're only going to do the right side here so that you can see the difference between the two. Even though we're not symmetrical, you may notice there's a little bit more calming or flattening of the muscle. So you can work this area as much as you want, but again, pulling the skin so it's not rubbing or lifting. You don't have to go too firm, you can always do it gently. Good, and then the other area, of course, for the frontalis, when we're getting right into breaking up the fascia, you can see Sarah doesn't really have lines here, just a little bit when she expresses. So you're going to then come into this muscle. If you imagine the fascia, for the forehead, it goes across, and the corrugator, it goes vertical. So generally, when you are working a facial exercise, you can really then work to break up that fascia with your fingers. And so you can see I'm just going along where the lines are. You can see a little bit of that reddening that's happening. So nothing too aggressive. Wonderful. And you know, you could get fancy and come in with these guys all the way across and then breaking it up here. But what I want to talk about as well is that when it comes to the scalp tension, you do also want to work into the scalp areas, and we'll be doing that together, as well as then the back. So when you do use a Gua Sha, you can run it down to relax. You can get in with the prongs here, right at the occiput, and massage there as well so that we're balancing the front and the back. We want to release the tension from both. Good, and so next what we're going to show is the cupping. So you can see here we have a little section. I like these guys because they have a long area for you to hold, and you're just going to squeeze and then come into the area. It's okay if it doesn't last. You can always do flash cupping as well to stimulate the circulation, but then you're just gonna glide along, just gliding, and you can do it a little bit underneath. And then into this area, I like to, again, go vertical up and down to break up all of that fascia that gets stuck. There's many different methods for using cups on the face, but for what we're doing today, our preventative protocol, we are just wanting to keep it simple. We'll be going through more expert ones in the future. But you can see how this is really releasing all of that tension. And then I am just going to massage it out. And again, don't forget back here to really release the scalp from the back. So now that we've shown the demo and how to do everything, I want to just break away and show 2 facial exercises that you've learned in my previous video, where we're going to be relaxing the frontalis muscle and then relaxing the corrugator muscle. So for the frontalis, this is a horizontal muscle. The way that the lines are horizontal. So you want to come in vertically. So we're going to use 3 fingers on either side and start them at the hairline. And with a firm pressure, you're going to look up and slowly bring them down to the eyebrow. Then we're going to look down and slowly bring them up to the forehead. And we can do this a little bit faster once you get the hang of it. And you want to do this maybe 10 times. How's it feeling?
It feels good.
Really good, right?
Yeah.
I always find after, whoa.
Yeah.
Just very relaxed. So that one you can do throughout your day. And now we're going to get into the frown area. So this is really where we hold frustration, irritability, and anger, or pushed down anger. But also, of course, when we're focusing, we use this muscle. So with this, we're going to take our index finger to the inner eyebrow, and we're going to press hard enough so when we try to frown, the muscle doesn't actually move in. So let's take a nice breath in, and then try to frown. Hold, 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 and relax. We're going to do this 5 times. Let's try and frown. 2, 3, and relax. And again, 1, 2, 3, and relax. 1, 2, 3, and relax. And one more time. 1, 2, 3, and relax.
That's which one I need.
It always gets me. All right, so we're going to get started. And for myself, I generally find using cleansing balm and doing this when I get home from work at night. So I have my nice little whipped cleansing balm, but you can use cleansing oil. We'll go through all of that in a moment.
And I like to use this makeup cleansing oil. This is the Fit Glow Beauty one. I really like to use any type of oil though, but this is nice because I can incorporate it into my skin cleansing routine.
Yes, and that's right. You know, today isn't about going out and buying a whole bunch of stuff. It's using what you have. And then, you know, if you continue to use this as a protocol, then to get fancy with it. But I'm just going to take my cleansing balm and we're going to just get that right all on the forehead up to the hairline, and then also just underneath the eyebrow, because we want to utilize that area as well as the bridge of the nose all around.
Even the nose, okay.
That's right. Wonderful. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come in with the Gua Sha. We'll be doing the cups secondarily. So with the Gua Sha, or your wand, we're going to start just right where the frown line is. And the idea of this is we're just going to break up that fascia. So wherever you have a line that's surfacing, make sure to kind of hold the area and press it so you're not stretching the skin too much. Yeah, just press it from one side and just slowly going back and forth horizontally.
Okay, horizontal.
Yes, we're going to start with that. So the easy way to think about this is if a line is vertical, you're going to go across it horizontally. And that way you're really breaking up that fascia.
So it's all in the opposite direction.
Exactly, yeah, all in the opposite direction. And then we're going to come in from the medial eyebrow and start working a little bit down. Yeah, right in that area right here.
Oh, I can feel that.
And again, we're just wanting to stretch the skin out a bit or hold the skin flat so you can see. Perfect, that looks good. Just to get right in there.
Wow.
Don't forget to breathe. I definitely have some tight spots closer to the nose. I've been dealing with a bit of a sinus issue, so I've noticed a little bit more tension into the frown area. So now we're going to start bringing it a little bit further into the eyebrow on the one side. So stay with the same side. And again, just really releasing. Ooh, under the eyebrow there is tight. This muscle, it inserts in the middle of the eyebrow. So as we bring it across, we kind of want to focus on the little notch or indent there. And just continue bringing that along all the way. Perfect. Good. And then we can go the same thing above the eyebrow. I know it's hard when you're all oiled up to hold the skin flat, but you get the idea. You don't want to be too aggressive. We just want to really break up that fascia. Perfect. Yeah, that's looking really good. And breathe and just relax. So I know when it comes to this muscle, it is the most Botoxed area. And, you know, this is something that, yes, if you do have Botox, you can still do. And when it comes to then, if you decide to stop your Botox, because the lines will appear then, the Botox only prevents them while you have Botox and then they come back. So, you know, I always think it's better to balance the muscles long term. And you've seen that that has worked successfully for me within the main area. When I was in my teens, I still had lines here. So it's just about that prevention. Let's go over to the other side now. So again, just coming in.
I have a question.
Yeah.
If I was to just go like this, is that also okay? Because it feels really nice to do that, or is that a no-no?
The only thing is it can stretch the skin a little bit.
Oh, I see.
So if you have a lot of oil on, as you can see, I over-oiled.
Yeah.
Then, yeah, you're able to have more give.
Okay.
Versus if you're doing it neat without anything on your skin, or just, let's say, a lotion that you're using. So if there's enough give, then go ahead, not too forcefully, but I do like to work little sections at a time. First underneath by the nose, and then slowly bringing it along while holding the skin. So you're not really stretching it. But that's a really good question, because, you know, with this, a lot of people are like, well, let me just get in there. And like, I don't have much time. I'm frustrated. It's not going to do as much. We want to relax, go slow. And that's why it's nice. You're going to be cleansing your skin anyway. And with cleansing balm or oil, if you leave it on, it's going to really lift up those impurities over the 5-10 minutes that we're doing this. So let's continue on that other side. So for both of us, interestingly enough, we are both secondarily doing our private side. We'll show that to the world. There we go. Yeah, so the other thing to keep in mind is, because the scalp is where the frontalis, forehead lines, meet. So if you have scalp tension, this is a big factor. So that's why I think it's important to go through the stretches and releasing the scalp with a nice brush. But we're going to now move on. I think I'm ready to move on to the forehead lines.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so for the forehead lines again, I am someone who has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 different ones. What do you think? 5? 1,
2, 3. Yeah.
5. So I know generally if I raise up and then I can see where those lines are. And we're going to be now going vertically.
Can I just go like this?
Yeah, exactly. Now, if you do have one of these, you can multitask and get a few of them all at once first. Just really warm that area up back and forth. And then come in to each one. Again, we're going to be going vertically up and down along it. Now, it doesn't hurt, as you saw from the demo, to go both ways. The idea is that we're really just trying to break up that fascia. So if you imagine over the meat that you get from the butcher, the saran wrap, that's the fascia. So if we can keep that broken up, it's not going to then etch in the skin. So depending on how saggy your skin is, how much collagen, how thick or thin, I have fairly thick skin. Sarah, yours is actually, I would say medium. Yeah.
I always thought I had thin skin.
But you don't. No. Unless, a lot of people, that's where you see on women really thin skin and then a crepey neck.
Oh.
That's where you would see that more.
Right here in this specific spot, when I press it, it's so tender. Where on this side, it's not. But just right here.
And this is gallbladder 14. So gallbladder 14 really helps to relax the muscle because it's also the motor point. So where the nerve innervates the muscle, that is the signal to the brain right here, let's fire the muscle. So that's why it's so tender in that specific area. Right? And yeah, very tender for me as well. So any tender spots that you find, work those through. And then I also then want to break away and say that if you do have a little bunny line that's horizontal here, you can see mine, right?
Do I have that?
No, but for myself, I have it. So then you can also go, that's a horizontal line, you can bring it down across the nose here and get that little bunny line. Once you're done that, we are going to take the 3 prongs, and what I'm going to do, you can do this with that tool as well, is we're just going to bring it into the scalp and just go back and forth. If you just go 1/2 inch in, right, this area here all along, these are in Chinese medicine emotion points, and they also work with lifting.
Okay.
So it's a really important area to get, not only to release where the frontalis muscle attaches to the scalp, but to release the scalp itself. So I like to, depending, if I have a hairband on right now, it's not my hair. Shh. It's a hairband. But if, at bedtime, you don't really care what your hair is going to look like, you can go all the way through the scalp. And then also coming into the shoulders, you can move. Yeah, so right up and down. And you can also take that little bit here and get right in to the occiput. And that's going to help release everything. The other area of mention for when we have jaw tension, it also affects the forehead, is right above the ear.
Okay.
So I think now let's move on and try the Cryo Gua Sha before we move on to the cups. So are you ready for it?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to start again. We're going to come into the frown area, but this time, we're going to go up and down. Oh yeah. It's cold, but it's so nice. And these ones, I trialed quite a few of them on Amazon, and I found a really good one under $50 for 2. And it comes with a case as well. Whereas these ones I bought for $145.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're all very similar. So then what we're going to do is we're going to go across the eyebrow. Oh yeah. So take a look at this. We're going to go whoosh. Yeah, right there.
Ooh.
It's cool, but it's so nice because this really takes the stress off your day. And for me, I love doing it on the forehead up and down.
Probably good for puffiness.
Very good for puffiness. So we'll be using this one more when we talk about the lower half of the face and the neck in a future video. But this is just so nice to have. And then you can come in the back again, right into those areas, get it into the occiput right here. can see. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then you can go down as well. So this is also good for the lymphatic system, as all gua shas are, but I find with the coolness, this is really nice.
Very nice.
Woo! Okay, so now we're gonna come into the cupping portion.
Okay.
So I'm going to first use my small cup, and we're going to focus on the frown area again. So same idea. We're going to first just start back and forth. And sometimes it takes a minute to get that little grab. And if it goes, don't worry, you can just press on it again. The silicone ones are great because you can put them in the dishwasher to sanitize. Over time, they do look a little, they get a bit yellowy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they still work fine, and they're for personal use only anyway. So once we've done this enough, and you can certainly see the redness. Yeah. So now we're going to go along. And this one, if you do press your other hand, then you can keep the skin flat, but use it depending on how much skin you have. I don't have too much, so I'm not going to do it, but just slowly going underneath the eyebrow out, and then over the eyebrow out. And you could use a larger one depending on how high your superciliary arch is. So you can see me doing that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, sometimes you've got to play around with the area. I find using this one in the middle. I did this on my husband, Tim, who you've seen in the Acupressure for neck and back pain video. And I left it there.
Oh.
And because this area, I would say, is the focused area for him, it actually left a bruise, and he works with the public and was so embarrassed to go to work the next day. And I was like, anytime there's a bruise, it is lifting that stuck emotion, so do it. But yeah, I don't think he was too happy with me, but it feels really good working these areas. So you can get 2 cups, press for time, and go from the center out, above the eyebrow, from the center out. And since we've already loosened this up with the gua sha, it's lifted to then the cup really lifting that tension out. So I like to use the two together. Like, to me, it feels so loose in there now.
Yeah.
And, of course, for myself, I just want you to be using what you have at home, or as cost effective as possible, so that you don't need to be coming in for me to do this to you. You can do this yourself. So that's the idea is, with aging powerfully, you're doing a lot of it yourself. And I think that's important. So now let's move on to the forehead lines. Sure. So for this one, I do like a bigger cup, but you can even, if you can only find these ones, I'll show on one side with this and on the other. So we're going to go up and down. Up and down. Oh yeah, up and down. So working from the center out. How are you looking with that? Oh yeah, good one.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, that
you can really feel it. And it's nice to do this at night, so then if you're red, it doesn't matter. Yeah. But also you'll be nicer to your family. At the end of the day, just letting go of all that tension.
That feels
really nice. Good, right? And then while Sarah's continuing with that, I'm just going to show you on myself on the neck. So this time we're going to use a retinol bakuchiol dual cream. This is really cool. It's from Some by Me, and it actually has, check this out. It looks like a sundae or icing. So you can see it actually has both the yellow, which I believe is the retinol, and the bakuchiol is purple. So that's really cool. So I'm going to put that in because, my traps really need the healthy aging as well. But we're just going to do that and then run the cup back and forth. And if we can release the traps, it will help with the back of the neck and then therefore help with our forehead. So when it comes to scalp tension, there are specific brushes that help release the tension, and therefore will also help stimulate the hair follicles. So we'll look at doing that in a future video. I'm just finishing some case studies with it before I put it on video, as I always like to do. How is that feeling?
So nice. I love the cupping.
Yes. So then before we finish the video, I thought we would just share some, easy techniques. So let's say it's bedtime, you finished your routine. What Sarah does is she uses facial patches.
These Frownies, they are so amazing.
And you can actually use your own skin products and then put them on over top.
Yeah, you do. You just need to wet them and then wait about 20 seconds for them to get tacky and then place them on. It takes a little trial and error to learn how to use them, but once they're on, it kind of forms a cast on your skin, so you literally cannot move your forehead, and in the morning you wake up and your forehead is just completely smooth.
And when I was doing research for my book, one of the things that was more controversial, that was, I guess, I don't know, it's been a long time I've been working on it, but maybe around 4 years ago, and it was controversial because the same thing with Botox, preventative. Well, of course you're going to be moving that muscle throughout your day, and that's fine to do. But at nighttime, that's when a lot of the activity happens and you're just dreaming and it's involuntary. So if during that period of time, every night you're sleeping for so long, if you can prevent that movement then, I don't really think there's any need for Botox at all. And again, that's not my thing. But for some of you watching the video, you might be like, well, yeah, this might help, but not enough. So another thing that I use is these. So these actually, they're called Marchique, and they're from Yes Style, which is, if you know me, I love my Yes Style. So from that app, and they're Korean, and you can actually put them, there's a few different ones, but these have product in them. So, it's one and done. You don't have to worry about that. If you're a busy mom or you're just, burning the candle at both ends, you slap these on and sleep, and they also help as well. So with that being said, I want to just go through some of the products that we can use. So Sarah's already talked about her cleansing oil. If there was anything else you would use here, would you say maybe just some castor oil, right? You had mentioned that you could use that.
Yeah, castor oil, really any type of oil, like sea buckthorn oil, argan oil.
Argan, yes.
I love plant oils.
Camellia oil is one that's really good for scar therapy, Japanese scar therapy. So why not use that here? Emu oil. That's what. That one can really help.
So a lot of really any botanical oil.
As long as it's not clogging the skin, it's good for it. And then I wanted to bring a bunch of options as well here. So, I'd mentioned cleansing balm. I love using cleansing balm. Just it's a little thicker. So for dry, dehydrated skin, it's really nice. But again, cleansing oil that Sarah used, but that we used on her in the demo as well. I have here from Cosrx, the retinol 0.5, and this is actually an oil. I don't use it like a serum. It's advertised as one. I use it at the end of the routine. At the end, after my moisturizer, I'd use this. Then you could do it with the cups at the end. I have also used, this one's ABIB PDRN Collagen Overnight Mask. So this one has a lot of give with it, as you can see. There's a lot of tackiness. So that actually is really nice to do. And sometimes because my skin's so dry, I'll put that on over moisturizer. As far as with moisturizers, this one here is Madagascar Centella Probiotic Cica. And you can see I've used almost all of it, but check it out. Same thing.
Oh, wow.
It really has a lot of stickiness. Same with like some of the snail ones. And then I've just started with, this is from Medicube. So some of you may have watched my Medicube video for the HR Booster Pro. We'll be doing a new one for the radio frequency machine, but have a feel for this one. It's really neat, and it actually has little capsules in them. You're not gonna be able to see this, but you break them, and it has the glutathione in it. So this one, it really has a lot of give. So you know, right? If you don't use facial oil, this one has a nice give. So just feel your products, and you can decide what is going to be best. I know a lot of people have gels as well. So this one is from Mixsoon, and it has, again, it's quite nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so this one is basically like it's glacier water soothing gel. So it's cooling, But again, you'll be able to glide the cups on. We just don't want any pulling. We want to be gentle with the fascia. So don't be aggressive. Breathe, relax. And I would love to hear how, what you're using, if you have any questions in the comments. And Sarah, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
For coming today and helping.
It's always a pleasure. Yeah.
Great. Thanks so much. See you in the next video.
Bye.
Look at Sarah's halo. I can see a halo. Halo. Okay, let's see. I don't know, I just feel like it. I'm ready to go swimming.
This is the worst. I don't want to feel it. Put your head into a halo light. Oh my god. This is... I'm dying.